It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Cassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. What's up, boys? I had to do it.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Two Guys and a Goalie, brought to you by our friends at Cool Bet. If you want to bet Oilers and Capitals, and I suggest taking the over tonight, Oilers and Caps, you can find that at Cool Bet. Sign up for an account using the code 2GUYS, number 2 in the word guys, at coolbet.com. You get a 100% deposit bonus on initial deposit up to $200. Gager had watched Spirited last episode. Cash, you watched the first part of it last episode, and I hadn't watched it yet. I watched it over the weekend. Cash, did you finish it?
I didn't. So I haven't.
Oh.
I need to.
I hope I didn't spoil it for you.
No.
Okay,
I was past that part. Yeah,
okay, good.
Past that part. So I already knew.
Yeah.
I already knew that, and the good afternoon and all that. No, I'm pretty.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty close to the end. I didn't look at the time, so I didn't have a chance.
was good.
To hockey games.
Fun movie.
Yeah.
Fun movie.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky because did you watch with the kids, I'm assuming, right?
No, that one I was just watching myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my wife.
Oh.
makes
Yeah, we
fun of
didn't
me.
watch
She's
it with
like,
the
"You
kids
and your-
either. My wife and I watched
You
it.
and your musicals, and I'm like, I always watch, like, that's the type of one where it's like I want to watch it before I let the kids see it. Like I don't know, like.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So,
But it's because my kids they have certain films now because they're older, right? But that really resonate with them because they watched at Christmas when they're younger and they're more impressionable at that age. So that would be a good one to watch like 20 years from now for you guys with your kids, because it'll just take them back to when they were little ones for Christmas, right? Like, so I gotta watch Christmas Vacation with my kids because I let them watch. I'm a horrible father, Cass. I just let them buck. So, but it's cool when you throw those shows on and see them kind of revert back to little kids again.
Still got the little kids. I don't want them to grow up. I'm so sad. But yeah, it's Spirited is one of those movies where, like, I'll watch it every year now for sure, like as a Christmas tradition, 100%. And it's also got some running bits from it that will go year round. Like the Good Afternoon thing it's classic. It's good stuff. That was really good. So yeah, we'll get lots of hockey talk, Oilers, Caps today. But if you haven't watched Spirited yet and you're looking for something to do during the holidays here, Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, they deliver. It's pretty fun. The singing is as you would expect, but it's still hilarious. Like, it's still pretty funny. Did you guys see the Indiana Jones trailer?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That looks really good. I think it looks really good. What'd you guys think?
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Kaz, you hesitant?
Yeah.
In what way? What are you thinking? What's the holdup?
He's
just too old?
No. I hope they don't mess it up. That terrifies me.
Well, didn't they already kind of mess it up once?
Yes.
Right?
And I don't want to mess them up worse again.
Ugh.
And
It can't be as bad as the last one.
No, yeah, the King was Crystal Skulls. Yeah, I think it was bad.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I'll be nervous until it's actually good. So
I remember watching the trailer for the Crystal Skull and thinking that was going to be garbage anyway. So I didn't have this trailer. This looks good. This looks like, just skip over the last one, right? Like, this looks like the perfect follow-up 30 years later to Last Crusade, which was my favorite of the three. I love The Last Crusade. I thought that was the best one.
Now that we're all on to the alternate universes, that just happened in a bad universe, a bad indie universe, and then we're competing
During the
along
blip.
normal path.
yeah, during the blip. That's where I'm kind of scared with this one, because I think we could. I wonder if we see some of that, and I just, yeah. I'm nervous, guys. I'm nervous. I hope it's really good. I hope it's really good.
That'll be a theater one for me.
You know what we don't have to worry about is the new John Wick movie that's coming up.
He's just going to kill 160 people.
Yeah, those are pretty staple. Like,
yeah. I don't see many people being like, "Oh man, weird storyline. There's some plot holes there in John Wick. Like it's all pretty good. All right, storylines and plot holes, I guess, coming into the Oilers and Capitals. Well, you know what? Let's dial it back here quickly. Cass, what do you think of that game against the Habs, man?
Oh, that was ugly. Boy, like they had a good third, like a solid third. The third period was solid. The first two periods were like, what is happening out there?
Yeah.
Like, no one knew where they were going. No one knew who to defend. Like turnovers, and I mean, you had more jump. Like you had jump from Leon and you had jump from McDavid, and like the guys were. It's not like they weren't moving their feet, but it was just sloppy again. And they lock it up in the third, which is good, but it was still a pretty ugly win. But you take it. I mean, you take the 2 points.
Gage, is that not what we've been saying for this last 5 games? Like they've won 4 of them, but I think the way Cass started that last one, hey, what did you think of that win last night? Kind of ugly. Like, I just don't know if what they're doing now is sustainable. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like it.
Well, I think at this point of the season, we can say that the Edmonton Oilers they're not as bad as they seem to be, but they're also not as good as we thought they were. I think there's some figuring out that still needs to happen. Like I don't know what this team is, like how they play. Like the only thing they have is a power play that's deadly, that bails them out half the time. Like if they don't score on the power play, I don't like their chances. It's because there's only one guy on the ice that plays physical. And their goaltending is okay, and it's tough. And I know there's a lot of guys out of the lineup, and that does make a difference. And we're going to get to some guys that are coming back in, I guess. But yeah, there has to be a whole kind of shift mindset, I think, of what it takes to be successful for the rest of the year here. Or it's going to be a struggle right down to the line of trying to make the playoffs.
They have a guy that plays physical?
Jesse.
Well,
had 8 hits.
Yeah. He gets lots of hits.
He's the closest thing they have with Kane out, at least.
He's still not scaring anybody.
I know, but he's
no
still the closest
like,
thing to
heads up,
have.
Pull Yarvy's on the ice. It's good that he's hitting people. Like, and it's good that he's a big body and he's being physical. He is. But at the same time, Gager, it's like, yeah, he's physical and that he gets hits, but he's still not. No one's head's on a swivel when he's in on the forecheck.
Yeah, but
you're right.
You're right.
Well,
saying,
he's again been physical, but he hasn't ran people over.
Yeah, but you're right to say, well, watch out, Puljujarvi's on the ice. It's more like, oh, Puljujarvi's on the ice. Like they're mad because he's running around there in reckless abandon, sticks flying, pieces. Like you see how much he drives people nuts by the way he plays.
Dripping off his
tongue
being out the side of his mouth.
Everyone hates him. Everyone hates him. I think his own teammates hate him. Like it's just it's crazy how he gets on. He's accidental sandpaper. This guy. It's crazy what he's doing. I don't mind it. He needs. I said something and I got in trouble because he's got to produce or whatever. But I'm like, well, he's doing what no one else is doing on the team right now. So
I thought Jakai was going to kill him. I thought he was going to kill him. Like that one moment where they kind of stared each other down. I was like, this isn't how you want to go, man. Like this is not what you want to do. It was a little strange. But Cass Gager's right. When he said, I don't know what this team is. They have a power play. Like that's really, I mean, you're looking for the identity of this team right now on December 5th, and identities can develop and change or whatever, but the identity of this team right now is a very good power play team. That's it. You can't tell me they're anything else.
Nope. What I wish it was a puck possession and power play team.
Yeah.
Because puck possession means you're going to draw more calls. But they turn over the puck too often for that. And I think that kind of feeds into their struggles in the defensive zone too. All feeds off of turnovers. Turning over the puck way too frequently. If they hold on to it and are a little bit more patient on the offensive side, I think they still could develop that, they're the puck possession team, a transition team, and a power play team. That puck possession and attacking and transition generate offense, draw penalties, and put them on the power play, which is deadly. I would also say their identity right now is Jekyll and Hyde, or a two-faced team, in that when they're on, they have tremendous offensive potential and power play, but their penalty kill is so awful that if they take penalties, they're going to lose hockey games.
Yeah. Which is another reason I like the over tonight, because you got Ovechkin power play on one side, Oilers power play on the other side. When you talk about possession, and who was I listening to? I was listening to somebody yesterday, wherever it was. Actually, it was today when I got home. I was driving home today, and Low Tide was talking. They were reading some text message about people saying this Oilers blue line can't move the puck effectively enough. And Cass, maybe that ties back into your possession thing. Gager, what do you think about the blue line's overall ability to move the puck up the ice?
It's intermittent, and I think there's a reason for it, is because as soon as there's a glimpse of gaining possession of the puck, there's guys blowing the zone. Like, they're asking a little bit much from some of these D-men to make 30 to 40 foot passes too. There has to be some better support coming out of your own zone, I think. But yeah, there's a little bit to that. I think on both sides. I would say it's partly the defense, but partly the forwards too.
Yep, right.
Is that what it is, Cass? Yeah.
Right. Yep, absolutely right. I think at times the defense has struggled just getting them the puck. At times the forwards haven't given them options. Like there's been a bit of both. I think when the D has struggled, you've seen them hold on to the puck for too long. Some of those situations, though, it's because the forwards aren't putting themselves in a position, or they went north too quickly, where they transition and all of a sudden, they're two zones away instead of having a low support option and then your speed stretch option. I get that you're trying to turn and burn right away. I totally understand it. You still need some support on the defensive side of the puck. And I don't know if that has been there. So yeah, it's a both problem, both the forwards and the defense responsible for that one.
And that's just straight up a mindset and coaching, isn't it? Like that's not, it doesn't take a certain level of skill to not fly the zone, does it?
We've talked about this a lot, like
yeah.
me and Tom on the post-game show. Because we've had a ton of questions about people like, well, do they practice? Like, how are they practicing? They practice any different, or is it the same? I'm like, they don't practice the way that they play.
Yeah.
Like the practice execution is there. I don't think it's even a mindset thing. It's an execution thing, Dusty. Like, I don't think it's from a lack of the coaches being like showing them on video and showing them in practice that this is where you need to go. This is what you need to do. It's just execution in the moment, which is just kind of baffling to me.
Well, maybe they'll figure out at some point. I mean, they're going to have to. Kyler Yamamoto looks like he's going to return. I know at practice yesterday it was reported, I think Stoff tweeted out that he was with McDavid and Draisaitl. Gager, what type of expectations do you have for Yamamoto getting back into the lineup here after being out for quite some time?
Not much. Just to get back up to speed. Playing with the big guys, so that's good. He just simplify his game and play the way he does. Just those guys love playing with him because he's always in, like we've said before, he's in really good position. So good to have a top six guy back in the lineup for the Oilers for sure. I think we saw with last game both teams missing a lot of their top guys, right? So
same with tonight with Washington, right?
So, yeah. So weird time of the schedule. Everyone seems to be down a few people. So definitely something that Edmonton has to take advantage of with probably playing a lineup that doesn't have as much experience as they do.
Cass, do you think they'll ride McDavid and Draisaitl together here? Maybe not until Kane returns, because that could be quite a ways away, but for a pretty significant stretch? Or maybe now with Yamamoto back, if Hyman's going to be okay, Nuge and Puljujärvi. I mean, you can make 6 there. You could do it. I think you're muted, Cass.
Sorry. I think you can make 6. And I think that's what they're starting to look at. Having the ability to have Hyman drop down and help out the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins line, I mean, that makes that line a lot better. So you're starting to see a shift to that already. It does give you more flexibility. You have more guys that are used to being in your top six. Just even one coming back in Yamamoto makes a big difference, I think. So it's, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think the nuclear option is what you want all the time. I do like a more balanced attack, but for right now, yeah.
I wonder if they run with it through December with this, like a little bit of a weaker opponents. Let them kind of feast a bit here in December. Game every second night, like the Coyotes, the Ducks, just let them go,
and force those other teams to have to load up their top lines and hope that your depth shows up their depth. I get that. I guess that makes sense.
Gager, what do you think from a strategy standpoint?
I don't mind it at home, Dusty, because you can last change and get the matchups you want. Maybe a little bit different on the road, just so teams can't key on it too much. I like when they throw a little bit of wrench in there, but I mean, like you said, this is a busy month, though. I don't like the amount of minutes these guys are playing. It seems too much right now.
A lot of playoff minutes in a lot of games, right? But a big power play on an add up power there, right? So yeah. Before we move on from this game and the Oilers right now, Gager, what do you think of Skinner on Saturday?
He was okay. I mean, all three goals were. I hated the first goal. The second goal, I liked from the Canadian standpoint of just blasting and a guy going to the net for a rebound. On that side, for a goalie, you should be able to do a lot more with the rebound control on that, because on the stick side, all those three goals, the Jack Eye shot, they're all stoppable pucks. That's the problem, I think. But he did make some good saves, good scramble at the end, and solidified the win. But it was good goaltending, not great. Couple things that I'd like to see Stuart Skinner make a save on. So, but hey, he's the bottom line is he won, I guess.
The one stat I was talking about with Gager before we went going, Cass, before you hopped on here, is that the Oilers, it's December 5th, and they've still not gone back-to-back games allowing less than 3 goals in a back-to-back game. That's wild to me. How have you not gone 2 games in a row allowing 2 goals or less? That's another one of those identity things. They don't really keep pucks out of their own net. So we'll see how it plays out tonight. Maybe they get a brilliant performance or a brilliant week from Skinner or something, and they'll certainly go a long way. Hey, speaking of goalies, let's stick to this. I want both of your guys' takes on this. Jordan Binnington. You saw he basically put his shoulder into Stahl, and then he got his hand up on Zucker, trashing Zucker as he skates by the bench. And I think Zucker's kind of looking at him going, fucking goalies. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I would have been imagining in my head. Cass, let's start with your view on this, and Binnington basically looking for trouble behind his own net.
Yeah, I mean, as as someone in the media now, I love it. I think it's hilarious.
Well, it gives us something to talk about.
Oh yeah, I think it's funny. I mean, he's a guy we've seen been emotional over and over again. He's not the first goalie to be that way, not the first goalie to go looking for it. By the same token, he hasn't been great this year, and so is this helping or hurting his game? I think if we look at some of the comments from his coaching staff, it may be hurting his game a little bit. So I mean, as a player, sometimes you love it, you love the fire. Sometimes you're just like, dude, stop the puck. Just worry about stopping the puck. I get you're emotional. Let us throw the hits out there. Let us deal with this. Just make a save. But yeah, I mean, now overall, it's awesome. I think it's funny. So I want to see more of it. Although they'll probably try to cut that out of his game a little bit.
Gager, what's he trying to accomplish with everything that he's doing here?
He wants to be the villain in the great story, I guess. It's great. He should do it. Stupid players, don't cut the net then. It's he's creating space for himself. But
what do we say when he gets hurt, right? What do we say when he comes out, tries to get in front of somebody and gets hurt? Then what's the story? Then everybody just says, had it coming, basically?
Yeah, like he's ruining it for every other goalie that doesn't want to do any of that stuff, because guys are going to be aware. Like, you're not the glove to the face. Who did he do that to? Zucker?
That was Zucker, yeah.
Yeah,
Zucker?
my boy Zucks.
So that is the equivalent of skating by the bench and someone putting their glove out there and you running. Like, you're not expecting that, right? So he's putting himself in a very dangerous position, because now everyone's going to think he's going to do something. So they're going to prepare themselves
that's true.
for something, and he's going to be possibly just trying to get back into the net, and there's going to be a knee, there's going to be a leg, there's going to be a chicken wing, and this is something that he's played, like, he's aware of, and he wants the physical contact. So if you're going to play that way, you got to pay the piper, I think. But I just think if this keeps going forward, guys are going to think, okay, what's the goalie going to do? Instead of knowing that that's really 99% of the time never happens. It's by accident, right? Or something like that. So he's going to get blown up here pretty quick, going out to play the puck or something, and then he'll be throwing water bottles at the guy in the after game interview because he's mad because he's out for the next 2 months.
Here's my thing with it.
Yeah.
Is guys like me, or that play a little bit like me, are going to be thinking, how can we drive this guy absolutely up the wall to take a stupid penalty? Because he quite clearly can't keep it together.
Won't take much. Yeah.
So if I cut this net a little bit tight, maybe rub him a little bit, and even from a reputation standpoint, like the benefit of the doubt historically goes to goalies, towards the goalies, rightfully so, to protect them. Not anymore with Binnington. You bump him, something happens. The first thing refs are going to be thinking about is not, did you run into the goalie on purpose? It's going to be, did the goalie run into you on purpose? So I would be doing everything I can just to mess with him and to see if you can get him to snap too.
And you won't have to do much. Like you could just brush him and he'll lose his
He'd
shit.
be so
I remember
to piss off. Like
we were playing the Flyers and Hextall, and I remember Kurt Maltby skated by. This was a TV timeout. Skated by and just tapped Hextall the top of his knob on his stick on the way by. You would have thought Maltz shot his dog. After that, he was like just going crazy. I was scared. I was sitting on the bench looking at the anger of Hextall because Maltz touched the top of his stick. It's good to play with an edge as a goalie. I do like that a bit, like be a little bit aggressive. But man, you saw what Jordan Stahl did to him. Was it Jordan Stahl, one of the Stahl brothers?
It was Stahl, I saw.
You just can't compete with guys like hitting them like that. It's not possible. So I can't wait to see him get blown up. Actually, it'll be really funny.
Gage, you used to throw the blocker out quite a bit in the crease on guys coming around there, or what?
I told you I'd stick my knob out and they'd
yeah. I remember I was a goalie from what I say 8 to 14, and first 2 years my mom was real vicious, right? And my mom and dad, like they're farm kids. Like they're like, anybody comes in your crease, you give them the blocker. So I got pulled aside multiple times when I was 8, 9 years old and be like, you need to stop punching people with your blocker. I said, but mom and dad said it's cool. Like that's what I was supposed to do. It was
I remember one of my first goalie coaches as a kid, because that's going, like, I'm really dating myself, but Billy Smith. Anyone try to wrap around, the stick was coming across and not on the ice. Like, no one wrapped the puck on Billy Smith because he was swinging his stick waist height on guys. So that's what I did. And I was
that's your net, right? Like that's your net. Yeah. Don't come near here.
That's what you do. Yeah. So
I like that mindset. I just think Binnington's a psycho. I think he's going to fight a player this year. That's going to happen. Binnington wants to drop the mitts and fight somebody, and not a goalie. I could see him Ray Emerying trying to fight somebody.
Yeah, but he's not Ray Emery. That's the thing. Is like he looks like
he'll get his ass kicked.
Pounds.
But I don't think that would stop him from doing it. I don't think he'd stop him from doing it, man. Like he's looking for it.
Emery was tough, like, and he could fight with goal gear on, which is, if you ever try to fight with that, it's exhausting, and B, you can't do anything. Like it's not made for that. It's just stupid.
All right, one other place I want to go, and I tweeted this earlier today. I was talking about it on my show, and I kind of just kept looking through the Dallas Stars 2017 draft. And how's this? So the Dallas Stars, as of right now, top spot in the Central Division, 33 points, having a really nice year. And, we talked about on a previous episode, we're talking about Robertson. They've got all these guys. The 2017 draft, the Dallas Stars selected Heiskanen 3rd overall, Ottinger 26th, and Jason Robertson 39th. Like, with 3 consecutive picks in the 2017 draft, they basically found their future franchise defenseman, their franchise goaltender, and a franchise looking like he's a point-per-game guy, 150 games into his career, which not a lot of guys can say. Cass, that's... Like, I know you talk about draft picks, and some of it's luck, and some of it's this, and you miss on guys, you hit on some guys. But to knock out Heiskanen, Ottinger, and Robertson back to back with 3rd, 26, and 39 in one draft, that's insane. That's one of the best
epic.
3-pick runs you're ever going to see.
Yep. Pretty epic. Completely rewrites their franchise future. I think so. Yeah, if you had to start a franchise with one of those 3 guys today, who would you take? Robertson.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
Yeah,
I know. I don't think you can go wrong. They've got all 3 of them.
I'd probably go Robertson.
Robertson does look elite offensively. But Gager, Ottinger, I'd take him between the pipes if you're trying to build a cup contender.
Yeah. It's disgusting. What is that scout sitting in like Fiji right now? Like with whoever made those picks? Like,
my job is done.
Yeah. Like if he wasn't high up on the totem pole, check LinkedIn for his resume right now, because he'll be sought after.
I bet they just used analytics websites to make those picks.
Right.
Didn't even scout him at all. Look at these guys.
Analytics, the course of Fenwick percentage.
I wonder if that's ever happened. Like, you have a potential Vezina winner, Norris candidate, and a guy that's being whispers of a Hart Trophy.
He's in the Hart Trophy mix this year, and the Rocket Richard. Yeah. It's
nuts.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I tweeted out today. I said, somebody tell me a better draft in the last 20 years to get 3 guys like that. And one guy replied and said, Connor McDavid, Ethan Bear, Caleb Jones, and John Marino. And I was like, a little bit different. McDavid's really good, but it's a little bit different. You're muted again, Cass.
I didn't say anything valuable anyways.
Hey, before we go, I tweeted this out today, and it was, what was your first controller, your first video game controller? And I asked, what was your favorite video game controller of all time? And I know we're all gamers. I like that first PlayStation controller with the grips that kind of came down into your hands a little bit. I played that for probably 3-4 years. Really like that. I don't mind the modern day controllers as well. Gager, what's your favorite controller ever?
Oh, it's the Atari, the joystick and
you're dialing it back, eh?
Oh, it was great. I played the original Atari, Space Invaders, and it was nuts to have that thing. And it was just like the old stick shifts in cars too, right? It was perfect. Great controller. Should bring it back for every game. 1 button, 1 stick. That's it.
I can't believe you had to play video games like that. At least I started with NES, which was still mind-blowing at the time. My parents were young, so my dad had an Intellivision. And I remember him and his buddies playing Intellivision with like the pad and stuff and the circle thing. And I remember that, but NES was my first controller. First PlayStation was probably my favorite though.
I was for me, probably the SNES.
Nice round.
They take the old, take the old square NES and they round it out a little bit. Plastic, almost buttons. Flexible. Yeah, you can really lean on it. You got the first trigger buttons up at the top there.
Yeah, they did. Was that the very first?
I think so.
Did Sega have trigger buttons on the top? I never was a Sega kid.
That's a good question.
So I can't remember.
Yeah, I wasn't.
No, they didn't. Not the Genesis. I don't think it did.
So Super Nintendo was the first one to.
Although, have you ever held like an Xbox Elite controller? Like
What's that?
Cass, you have one, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh,
No, I have. I do have one that's the cheaper version of that though, but
What
it
is
has
this? What is
has
this?
the back paddles.
Go ahead, Cass. You can.
No, I was just gonna say it's right over here. This is where I do this. Like that. So it's got the back paddles on it.
Oh. Yeah.
So
And it's
wow.
it's got trigger bumpers too, so you shorter press on your triggers. Mappable paddles on the back. That's the big one. So you don't have to take
for a new Xbox for Christmas this year. Maybe I'll have to get that.
Nice.
The Elite you hold this thing in your hands, and it's like you drive a Prius and then you go to the Ferrari dealer. No, that's not.
Oh yeah,
let's go
completely different.
Mercedes dealership and get into the car and grab this. It's a different feel. Like
Really?
it's heavy.
Luxury.
Oh, it's
Luxury.
It's like putting on shoes that really fit when it hits your hands. It's
How much does one of these things run you?
They're like $8,000.
Screw
No,
off.
they're like 300, aren't they?
Oh.
Yeah, they're probably I think they're probably like 300, but there are some like this one here. So this is a Razor. I don't love it took some getting used to because the paddles are like closer to the middle of the back than right on the sides. But there's some, I think on the Xbox more than PlayStation, there's some out there that have like good paddles, like good quality. Like I think Scuff makes a decent one too. That's not like 300. It's like 150 or 175. That's still like a really nice. It's kind of like it's the Hyundai Genesis, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the full-fledged BMW, but it's got all the features and it's right up there in quality, but you're paying a lot less for it. So yeah, it's kind of how I would
Are you
use it.
using these two fingers on those back pedals? Is that how it works?
Yeah. I mean, this one you can use. There's
there's
four.
a lot
so
going
you can
on
use
there.
4 back there.
Jeez.
But yeah, you can primarily just use 2. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of buttons on there. But just go to Costco and get it. And then when it runs out, just take it back and get a new one.
Self-checkout. We can definitely do that now. All right, that's going to do it for another episode of Two Guys and Goalie, part of the Nielsen Media Coolbet Network, brought to you by our partners at Coolbet. If you want to bet the Oilers and Caps tonight, you can do that over at coolbet.com. Cast pre and post with Tommy tonight.
Yeah, we will be on there, and hopefully not talking about Ovi lighting up for 7 or 8 or 9 on the PK.
You can go and bet right now at Coolbet. I had them set it up. Ovechkin and Draisaitl both to score tonight, plus 320. So that's a pretty juicy bet for you tonight. And Gager, you're going to be on Oilers Plus tonight, and share that Oilers Plus 2 guys story that you told me earlier. That was good.
Oh, yeah. So I actually got a message from a guy that said, hey, Joaquin, I like your show. You're the reason why I bought my Oilers Plus subscription. I think it's Jerry Mancini, I think his name is.
Okay.
Anyway, he said, great stuff, really enjoying it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. He got the Oilers Plus because I was on it. So, and he said he loves the stuff. The draw, I told him, I said, hey, thank you. I really appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Make sure you watch The Drop. It's a really cool little behind the scenes kind of things that you don't normally see with a lot of the Oilers players. So they, he wrote back right away. He goes, The Drop's awesome. I love it. It's and it's not all like there's new episodes coming out all the time. So we'll
start working on shout out to Jerry for watching Two Guys and listening to Two Guys, and we'll start working on a deal to go behind that paywall and sign a massive deal with Oilers Plus for Two Guys and a Goalie. See you later.
Sweet.
All right, boys. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll break it down, and the Wednesday game on Thursday. We'll talk to you then, guys.
Later.